Oh, before I get started on this, YouTube just chaps my butt sometimes. You know, you used to get a notification before. Your such and such video has been demonetized. Oh, okay, click on the video. Monetization, yep, it's off. Click here to have us review the, this. Okay, click yes, I think my video does not, or yes, I think my video complies with your guidelines. Please check it again. Okay, send. I have that video about the people starving. You know, people starving now in, what was it called? They are literally starving in Venezuela and Yemen. That's my title. This video has been demonetized, possibly, for violating terms, excuse me? I'm not talking about, showing videos or images of people dying or death, killed, violence. What the hell? Click on the button. Yeah, my video is in compliance. Please check this again. Submit. That was earlier today. They got back to me, hours later. After reviewing your video, hi JSnip4. After reviewing your video, we determined that the content in your video and video details are advertiser friendly. As a result, your video can be monetized. Be sure to check out our help center if you ever unsure about the kind of content that can be monetized. No, I don't need to check your help center. I'm pretty certain I've got this down now. With 2,700 videos under my name. I've got it down, YouTube. I know. And do they give me a bonus of ads or something on my other videos since they shut that one down, for a day? Do I get a little bonus? Hey, you killed my revenue. You've harmed me financially. Do I get a little kickback? No, of course not. No. Was the video even controversial? Kind of. No! And even if it's controversial, it doesn't matter. You can have controversy in the video. It's not showing, death and people dying and wars and everything else. We got someone creeping on me on the stairwell. What are you doing, Ashley?
Well, when's Mommy going to come up and upstairs?
I don't know.
Mommy keeps on, doing this. And it's annoying me. She's been doing it for quite a while. And also,
yeah.
she's doing my stuff animals.
Okay, tell her to stop and time for bed. Or I'm going to have to come up there. And if I got to pause this video, my subscribers will tell me to go up there and spank some butt. Say, Daddy subscribers, tell her, say, Daddy subscribers said go to bed now or you're about to get a butt whipping. That's actually a lie. I wouldn't whip a butt over that. Got it. Hey, business comes. Got to handle business. Children, family stuff. Could I pause it? I could have paused it. But I thought the way she was creeping, it'd just be a little 2-second thing. But anyways, sorry about that. So anyways, my video is approved now. Oh, great. Well, it's old now. No one's going to watch it. They've already watched it. It's done. So how many ads did I miss being played because it got nailed? And, again, YouTube, every single time, and there's been multiple times, let me tell you, that I've had to check that box. Please check this again. I think I'm in compliance. Every single time I've checked that box. Hi, JSnip4. You're correct. Video is now monetized again. So since I have a track record of being right against your own damn employees, maybe there should be a little flag on the account. This guy's never been wrong when his videos are monetized. Be careful when you flag him automatically to demonetize him, okay? No, not a chance in hell. Anyways, interesting story from the Daily Star. Mainstream kind of a UK website here. And this is kind of right up my alley since there's a little bit of doom involved. And it goes right in line with what the webbot said would be coming. Mini Ice Age, hello. Ice Age Britain. River Thames will freeze over on this date and could kill millions. A global cooldown will march in with vengeance to usher in a 100-year mini ice age that could freeze over the River Thames, climate Scientologists told Daily Star Online. Really? I've got my doom mongery up and awake right now. Experts told Daily Star Online planet Earth is on course for a little ice age. Well, that's funny. The Webbot said that years ago. Within the next 3 years, thanks to a cocktail of climate change and low solar activity. And let me just break in here for a second upon myself. Allow myself to break in on myself. Low solar activity, huh? Research shows a natural cooling cycle that occurs every 230 years began in 2014 and will send temperatures plummeting even further by 2019. Someone sent me a message. I didn't decide to do a video. Webbot hit. I just left it alone. Jay Snip, the flooding. Webbot talked about flooding. It's all up in Canada too. Yeah, heard that. But something else caught my eye. Hey, it's May over here. I forgot where they were from. Somewhere in the U.S. It's May. And we have snow. This is like a once or twice in 100 years kind of a thing. According to history, what I found is what they said. I can't tell you what town it was at the moment. It was earlier today. And again, I wasn't even going to do a video on it. I just was like, yeah, whatever. But now that I'm doing this one, I want to mention that. Webbot said, as we near summer, don't be surprised if you hear about snow in one part while we hear about summer in the other part of the country. Okay? But regarding this low solar activity, it says scientists are also expecting a huge reduction, this is key, in solar activity for 33 years between 2020 and 2053 that will cause thermometers to crash. Now, hold on. You want to know something interesting you may or may not have known? Did you know that stock market cycles, high and low, coincide pretty much identically with solar sunspot activity? Low sun activity, low solar cycle, sunspots, whatever. In other words, a quiet sun, markets are down. Super active sunspots, markets rise. Stock markets, baby, yes. But then when the sun cools down, so to speak, it slows down. Earth slows, I guess the core of the Earth may slow down a little bit too. It affects us humans, obviously, somehow, because you couldn't possibly have these things lining up and constantly seeing the same wave. Sun activity, stock market activity. Well, that's interesting. Just a coincidence. But it said 33 years. So again, this big crash that's coming, and Martin Armstrong's, his economic confidence model, his theory, that talks, in this particular case, I'm going to get on real estate, end of 2016. The cycle starts, real estate, and it goes like this all the way to 2032. It's actually 2031 and December. We're going to round off to 2032. Straight down, straight down, straight. I mean, not straight down, but it's no little ups. Like, it's going to go up. No, just real estate market not looking good for the next 16 years. Well, that's funny because this ice age is lasting 33 years, mini ice age, I should say. Also was predicted way in advance of this by Cliff High and his Webbot. So you talk about a colder Earth, less economic activity, less all kinds of stuff. It is not looking good. For these markets, for your retirement, for anything, it is not looking good. And again, the solar cycle says low cooling cycle begins, sun goes to sleep, so to speak. Markets have always gone down. And it started 2019 will send temperatures plummeting even further by 2019. I was talking to somebody the other day. I said, I've lived in Florida pretty much my whole life since I was like 5. And I don't know if I can remember a May where we've had a few times now in May, just the other day as a matter of fact, where we had 90 degrees, boom, 70 the next day. And then 70-something again the next day. And I'm like, this is what we just experienced over last month, way earlier last month. Beautiful weather. It should be scalding hot right now, even though it's in May. Not necessarily June or July. That's when it gets really hot. But it still gets very hot in May to where you're like, oh, here comes freaking brutal summer, humid, hot. Oh, thank God I don't work outside. That's what happens every year. At least in my head. Oh, thank God I'm out sweating like a pig outside because it is hot. But we had these cool days, and I was talking with Bix Weir and Cliff Hine. He's like, yeah, we had this the same time frame I was having this little cold spell. They were having a cold spell. Cliff's, I think, is he in Washington, I think? Bix is in California. But, so yeah, just, again, like the web ought to have been predicting, you're going to see really weird weather where it should be hot, it's going to be cold, and it's, we're going to have these kind of, so the 4 seasons where they're going to kind of melt together, so to speak, and you may just have where it's kind of like there's just 2 of them, and strange stuff, sure enough. Both cycles suggest Earth is entering a global cooling cycle that will have devastating consequences for the global economy, human life, and society as we know it. And I'm going to tell you, Cliff Hyde told me, it's like, you may want to just stay in Florida. Don't ever think about moving. Data is suggesting that there's going to be quite a number of people wanting to move to Florida over the coming years, like a lot. So it's all due to cold weather up north that when people finally realize this is not a one-off, this is something's going on here. We got to get out of here. We're moving for sure to a lower part of the United States. And by chance, Florida and Texas, but Florida, if anywhere is going to be warm or at least warmer than here, oh boy, is it Florida. And if whatever's happening here even happens in Florida, it'll just be a beautiful tropical climate down there. 70-something degrees all the time. Maybe. Which means, oh crap, I've got the whole damn country, diaspora, so to speak, wanting to come to Florida over the coming years. Which means I need this real estate crash to happen sooner rather than later so I can hurry up and get mines quickly. There was a beautiful 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, 3,100 square foot pool. It was a drive. It'd be an hour and 10-minute drive for me every day. One way to work and one way back. An hour and an hour. For sale with owner financing. Small down payment. And 10% of what you pay me goes towards the house in 2 or 3 whatever years when you decide, if you decide that you want to buy the house. 10% of my payment, which would have been $2,200 a month. I'm at $1,600 over here. And I sent it to my wife, and she's like, oh my God, that's just, what a gorgeous house. I would not mind living out there at all. That is a beautiful house. I thought, yeah, tell me about it. But when I calculated what it was worth and what he basically said, $450,000 house. Nope. I'll be waiting for the real estate crash. And if that house is available by then, maybe we'll talk. Otherwise, there may be some even better houses for cheap. That's the plan. So, as he said, both cycles suggest Earth is entering a global cooling cycle that will have devastating consequences for the global economy, human life, and society as we know it. If predictions of the worldwide big freeze come true, the plot to the 2004 film The Day After Tomorrow would not be far from reality during winter. During winter, entire major cities such as London, Paris, and New York would be subjected to sub-zero temperatures, ice, and snow for months. Millions of lives would be at risk for prolonged blackouts, food and electricity shortages, and cold-related health problems. David Daley, CEO of Global Weather Oscillations, told the Daily Star Online global warming and cooling cycles are determined by the gravitational forces of Earth, the moon, and the sun. Wait a minute. Global warming is caused by gravitational forces from the Earth, moon, and sun. It's not man-made? Who would have thought? Each cycle lasts around 120,000 years with sub-cycles of around 230 years. He said we have had 5 warming cycles since about 900 AD, each followed by a dramatic cooling cycle. The last global warming cycle ended in 1790, and the year 2020 is 230 years following this. Thus, I have been talking about rapid cooling beginning in 2019. And all I think about, remember the French foreign minister guy? Remember that a couple years ago? In exactly 503 days, there will be a a climate event or something. Remember that guy? French foreign minister or ambassador or something came out and said that in exactly 503 days. I wonder if he's talking about this. He said the oncoming cooling will send temperatures plummeting to lows last seen in the 1940s, when the mercury bottomed out at minus 21 degrees Celsius during the winter in the UK. He said cooling from 2019 into about 2020 or 2021 will bring world temperatures back to where they were in the 40s through the 60s. The Arctic will freeze solid and rapidly by 2020, and thus allow much more Arctic air to build up and move southward toward Great Britain. Well, I got a question, because Edgar Cayce said the poles would be moving towards Russia, the North Pole. That was in the early part of 1900s. And sure enough, the North Pole has been moving over that way. And strangely enough, as you know, the South Pole seems to be melting and uncovering some interesting things, and we've got all kinds of activity down there. So I'm not so sure about that. Although wherever the new North and South Pole will end up forming, maybe that'll play out like he's talking about. Expect by the mid to late 20s that winter temperatures will dip even colder than the 1940s to 60s. This will last for 60 to 100 years, and then a gradual warm-up toward the next global warming cycle that will not be as warm as the one we are now coming out of. Well, why is that? All this polluting we've been doing all these years, it's not going to catch up to us? I mean, come on. Man-made global warming, man. Research from mathematics professor Valentina Zarkova shows that low solar activity could cause global temperatures to dip to their lowest levels for more than 350 years. Within 3 years, drastic reductions in heat releases from the sun could drive substantial cooling in Europe, North America, and Asia. From 1650 to 1710, temperatures across much of Europe, including Britain, plunged when the sun entered a quiet phase known as the Maunder minimum. Zarkova believes a similar extreme deep freeze is on the way, triggering new glaciers, blanket sea ice, and frozen over rivers and lakes. She told Daily Star Online, "We did not calculate temperature variations on the Earth. We can only speculate what should happen by relying on the experience of the previous grand cycle which occurred in the 1645 to 1705 Maunder minimum. At that time, the mini ice age lasted for 60 to 65 years. The forthcoming grand minimum will last for 3 solar cycles or 33 years, from 2020 to 2053, as we predicted. Because of huge reduction of solar activity, it is expected that the terrestrial temperature will also be reduced as it happened in the 17th century." Zarkova of Northumbria University made the predictions by studying new mathematical models for solar activity. She claims her models can predict the solar cycle with 97% accuracy, leaving little margin for error. The Met Office has previously told Daily Star Online that a new mini ice age is a worst-case scenario, adding that while temperatures are likely to dip, it will do little to offset man-made global warming. George Fulner of the Potsdam Institute on Climate Change Research agrees with this view, adding, "The expected decrease in global temperature would be 0.1 degrees Celsius at most, compared to about 1.3 degrees Celsius since pre-industrial times by the year 2030. Who am I going to go with? I think I'm going with the other person. Ain't going to be no little 0.1% Celsius. I don't think so. You can't call that a mini ice age in no history book. Ain't happening. I also remember Edgar Cayce talking about Europe. Edgar Cayce, Europe. And he was talking to the early part of this century, 2000s. Edgar Cayce, Europe. 80 years ago, Edgar Cayce predicted Putin's role in stopping World War III. That's interesting. Oh, here we go. That's what I want. This is what I want. Top 10 Edgar Casey predictions. Number 1, the greater portion of Europe will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Japan will eventually go into the sea, and land will appear off the coast of America. Number 2, there will be a shifting of the poles, so that where there was once a cold climate will become warmer, and the semi-tropical will become more tropical. Oh, cold climate, South Pole. It's melting. Scientists are all over the place discovering stuff. Huh. Where it was cold, it'll become warmer. Interesting, Edgar Casey. Number 3, there will come a time when the sun will be darkened. This will signify a spiritually awakening event. 3 days of darkness? What is he talking about? Don't know. The city of Atlantis will be found near Bimini. The records of Atlantis will open to those that are the spiritual initiates in the knowledge of the one God. A secret chamber will be found, and the rising of the temple will make the records accessible. A field of new science will be developed based on a psychic/spiritual phenomenon. A shift in focus and study will occur. The world will give more weight to spiritual phenomena and less weight to the materialized or material phenomena. This new field of spiritual science will become just as practical and as measurable as any other phase of human experience. A city of gold will be discovered in the Gobi Desert. It will have a temple with elevators, electric cars, and magical elements. Interesting. I don't remember that one, number 7. New York's state, East Coast, and New York City itself will disappear. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I hope none of you live there right now, because I'm about to hate on you. You know, Wall Street, Money Center. If you know, a giant came down and took a little, you know, saw the United States as like a big cracker, wanted to eat his little piece of a cracker and snapped off a little corner. It happened to be New York. I love you guys. Appreciate you guys subscribers, but you're going to take one for the team. Don't have a problem with New York going in the sea. Number 9, America's West Coast will be destroyed, and there will be widespread destruction in Los Angeles and San Francisco, as well as many portions of the West Coast. Land will appear off the coast of America. The Great Lakes will drain into the Gulf of Mexico through the Mississippi River. I do remember that one. In 10, Casey envisioned that a time would come when all individuals would realize their responsibility toward one another. This will be a realization that will change the mass thought of humanity. Casey predicted there will be 3 profound archaeological discoveries of a very ancient and important nature that will revolutionize the way we understand human origins. So is that the thing they find ultimately in the right paw of the Sphinx in Egypt? Or are we going to find something in Antarctica? Don't know. Casey said that this will occur when humanity reaches a higher level of spirituality. I think we're going backwards on that one. He predicted a new era of peace and enlightenment will follow the tremendous earth changes. Casey foresaw a new era of enlightenment and peace for humanity in the future in a unified field of energy that would someday shift the consciousness field of humanity. And he was quoted as saying, "Dreams are today's answers to tomorrow's questions." Interesting. Anyways, wanted to share that with you. I really like me some Edgar Casey. Very, very accurate person back in the day when he talked about stuff happening. And speaking of mini ice age, yeah, take care.